Hi everyone! Well, I know it's been a while since I last made a new YouTube video regarding my teas, so let's make a new one. So this video is going to be an update on what's been happening with my collection since my last video on the teas. So if you've seen my last one on the snowblowing video that I posted a little bit after Valentine's Day, yeah, there was a lot of snow back then. I did mention towards the end that one of my teas is molten, and certainly has. A little bit late to show it to you. But this one here is a E.pachypus, which is known as the Tanzanian stout-legged baboon. Now I did mention the video when I first got it, and that was the video where you notice that they had some mites going in there and I had to rechange the substrate, and it's all good right now. So this is my new E.pachypus that I got, I think, a little over 2 weeks ago, and just freshly malted, so you can see the malt over there. So just want to show you the colors on the species, since there's not a lot of videos on them. Okay, so they're pretty much like a dark brown color, very similar to the Torniochilus cordatus, which is the Kilimanjaro mustard baboon. But what's really unique about this baboon is that they got very thick hind legs, and in the video it appears to be black, and which is very characteristic of the Eucratocellus species. The only ones available in the hobby are the Pachypus and species Constrictus, which are very identical. Now, a lot of people have asked me to make a Mythbuster video on this species, and I will do that. This will be Tarantula Mythbuster video 48. I should be able to make it by the weekend. I'll be pretty busy because I'm actually maybe purchasing this nice truck here. And it's pretty simple to care for. They care for more like baboons. The only difference, what I really like about them, is that they're generally unbelievably very docile for a baboon. And you think about most baboons, like the P. muticus, the OBT, the C. marshalli, the H. mag, the S. cal, and they're really bite in your face. But these E.pachypus are really calm but speedy teas. So I'm just going to touch. It's just hungry, so as you can see, it's not really that defensive. So I do recommend it for someone who probably wants to start getting into the old worlds, who wants an OBT but wants to try to deal with fast and slightly defensive species. I do highly recommend this one. Really not too bad overall. They're not going to get a very large spider. It's probably going to be like around 3.5 to 4.5 inches. This girl here is around 2.5. I'm assuming maybe about an inch or two, and that's about it. It's not a very large species. That is pretty cool. Alrighty, so that's done. News regarding the egg sac for the avic. I just peeked at it a couple of days ago, and I still saw it intact there with no hatching. So it's a good sign. So I'm going to leave it within the mom. I'm not going to pull it out or anything, because avics really tend to do well if you leave the sac with the mother. So fingers crossed for a good egg sac, and hopefully we'll get a good yield. The last yield that we got from Tarantula Canada and myself, because I loaned them one of my mature males, I only got like 15 out of them, so I'm not going to really expect to be a high number, but we'll see how young Annabelle does. She's pretty young, so let's hope. Okay, so now for these 3 new additions that I got. So these are something that you have already seen before in my collection. Unfortunately, I did get 2 losses from my P. pulcher spiderling and the Poikilotheria saphusca highland, which is really strange because I really tend to have a better record of Poikilotheria keeping. So it was really strange that I lost one. So here's a new P. pulcher. This was the last one that they had. And P. saphusca highland. This was actually a little bit larger, around 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Now I think the problem was that I kept it a little bit too humid in there. So what I'm going to do right after the video is I'm going to add some more air holes in there, because don't rely much on humidity for pokies. Just make sure that they have well ventilated areas, and they'll do pretty well. I've been keeping them with very few deaths, so hopefully I'll keep this one well. Now for this guy right here, this is the Oleopone, the Acromaris vitatum. Well, as you've probably seen from my February editions, I did get one, and unfortunately it passed away within 2 days. So, a very fragile species, and I have no idea how it died. So Amanda was kind enough to give me 3 new ones. So I didn't have to pay anything for them, which is good. So, we're going to have to play a game called Where's Waldo and find them. Okay, I do see one over there towards the left. And the 2 and 3 might be somewhere. Anyway, so what I'm going to have to try to do something different about these species is that I'm actually going to keep a cork bark inside the tank. So just put a little cork bark in there. And since they usually found in leafy areas, I'm also going to add a piece of sphagnum moss in there. Now, as I said in the other video, they are detrivores, so you want to make sure that they are feeding on dead organisms. Like, their diet is mostly considered of crushed crickets, which I'm going to try to feed them now, see how they do, as well as fruits and vegetables that are ripe. The riper the better for them. And I'm actually going to give these guys food more often than I would usually do with my teas. If you want to know my feeding videos, just look at them and you'll figure out how often I feed them every month. Speaking of which, a new feeding video will be aired this coming Saturday. And yeah, I'll see how it goes from there. So right now I'm going to give them a little crushed cricket in there and see how they do. So there they are. So hopefully I'll have some better luck with the Oleopones. Alright, so that's that, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. And stay tuned for a Mythbuster video on the E.pachypus, which will be Tarantula Mythbuster 48 on the weekend, as well as a brand new feeding video. Just have to make sure I have enough crickets to feed all of them. Alright, see you guys.